Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MoonTown Offline.
What's up?
What up, guys? I got myself an upgrade. I got this sweet mic. Uh, Austin got a downgrade today. His
Yep,
camera
my
isn't
la-
really on the
my
plus side.
laptop wouldn't turn on, and when you're on Zoom on your phone and you need to look at an app, your profile picture freezes. So I just decided to not have one. Plus, it's super hot, so I don't have a shirt on.
That is true. Yeah, that would be very shocking to a few people.
They don't know what people look like.
Yeah, they don't know what anyone looks like without clothes.
You only know until you're married.
Yeah, that's got to be the weirdest life, not knowing what anyone looks like naked. Like including yourself. Like since birth, you've just been raised to like have underwear or diapers or whatever your age is while you're in like the bath or the shower. When you
Well, some
pee,
more. Don't
you
some
gotta.
Mormons do that?
Do they? That seems more like a cartoony Mormon thing to do.
But I've seen or I've heard of underwear that's always on even when you're in the shower. And yeah,
That's
you clean yourself, but you always have one article of it on at one time.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know either, man. But
Yeah,
that's not today's topic.
yeah. Today's topic is not about naked people. First off, the cup is here. Secondly,
The cup.
yeah, the cup. Secondly, it's Sunday, August 16th, 2020 at 12:17 p.m.
It's my boy Mina's birthday. So in the comments, if you write "Happy Birthday, Mina," you'll gain plus 1% of awesomeness.
Wow. I'll make sure to comment that.
Nice.
And
When this goes up today.
yeah, so that's probably the third thing. Sorry, this is like a day late, all you AJs out there, but we had some scheduling conflicts. And let's see here. What else are we gonna try to do? Doesn't seem like there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. But hey, this is. I mean, if you want to watch this offline and see me with a cool mic and then Austin's name, like that's cool. But this can also be one that maybe you can listen to because it'll be a bit better mic quality for myself. And there's not really an Austin to look at. I know he's over here. There's just the name. But I strongly digress. How about we get right into it, Austin?
Heck yeah, dude, let's do it.
Yeah. So last time on Offline, we talked about the DCEU, its current movies, and just like our general thoughts on it. Neither of us had seen the DCEU during that week, just because it was more of a spontaneous thing. Got to be honest. But this one, we did actually plan out a bit, and we did talk about it in the last episode, just like at the end. I think we did because
Yeah, we did.
yeah. So our thing we're going to start up is a Batman movie saga. This would be a limit of 8 films in a total of 12 years. It can either be its own thing or it can also have some comic book tie-ins if you want to throw those in. And yeah, that's pretty cool. We got to about three or four movies for each of us, and we're just gonna quickly talk about them, quickly get through, and let you guys know what's what. So we're only about 4.5 minutes in, but should we take a commercial break now, just so we can get through some stuff?
Well, we can say that for later after our first movies.
All right, nice. All right, so Austin, would you like to start or should I?
I'll start. So each movie that I bring up gets progressively more complicated in terms of plot. So I only have 3. And the first one I kind of need to change the name a little bit. It's called Batman Lady of Gotham, and it's set to release June 2021. The heroes are Batman, Bruce Wayne, Robin, Dick Grayson, and Batgirl Barbara Gordon. The villain of the film is actually Anarchy.
Huh.
The plot, and we can just make Anarchy a woman to help justify the title. But also, like, Lady Justice is a theme, and this is also where Batgirl becomes Batgirl. So the plot is Anarchy sets to destroy the infrastructure and society of Gotham. He blames the corruption on the GCPD and Batman. Anarchy sets out to build a cult-like group of people tired of, quote-unquote, the man. One of the boys recruited is Jason Todd. The mayor is kidnapped. James Gordon is kidnapped. Barbara finds out Dick is Robin and then asks her to train him. Barbara is also already trained by her cop father. Dick Grayson as Robin is kidnapped. Batman and Barbara as Batgirl rescue everyone and defeat Anarchy. Jason Todd saw that Anarchy was the real villain and attempted to lead an insurrection, failed, and was then hospitalized. Anarchy is sent to Arkham. Then days later, dead in his cell, he is assassinated by a blade. All during the film, Batman is also investigating a hidden record of his father's after Anarchy exposes corruption by the Waynes. This eventually leads to the conclusion that he had an older brother. So, the main plot line is Anarchy and her stuff. The second, or I guess you could say the subplots, is Batman finding out this corruption of the Waynes and him dealing with that, and also eventually finding hospital records that his mother had actually given birth before he was even born. And this is also like a soft, like an origin for Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. And it's also like pretty late in Dick Grayson Robin's career, because you'll be seeing that they work really well together. Every person I'm going to have as a Robin is going to be older. So Dick Grayson's like 18 or 19, right? But he's still Robin. And Barbara Gordon, it will be like 17, 18. And there's going to be like hints of romance and that they're like kind of into each other, but they're not going to like go into it right now because they have other important things to do. And in my version, Anarchy is like, he's essentially like a trained assassin. He's very skilled. He's not, ultimately it's decidedly, you can infer that Batman is the better fighter, but Anarchy always had like a whole bunch of surprises, and then he had a whole bunch of followers and stuff. So yeah, that's Lady of Arkham, or the Lady of Gotham, not Lady of Arkham.
Nice. Anarchy's a very interesting choice for your first Batman villain.
Yep, I'm not go. Oh yeah, so one reason why I started this is I'm already going with the fact that you know all the major villains. Like everyone knows Two-Face, Joker, Poison Ivy, Bane. So I decided to go with a lesser known one, even though he's been in an animated series, but Anarchy.
When was he in the? When was
He was
in?
He was not in the animated series like TAS, but he was in Beware the Batman, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that was on for like 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Beware the Bat. That was a theme song.
Yep. So that's my first film. What's your first film, buddy?
My first film is fairly simple. Very simple. My first film is called Gotham Year One, and this will be a release in about 2021. This one's gonna obviously takes a lot from Batman Year One, but it's gonna focus on sort of the relationship between Gordon and Bruce, and then also Gordon and Batman, where it grows kind of this this respect for one another, possibly like seeds of trust. But it's by the end of the movie, it's still even kind of a little unclear. But I think it'd be interesting to have Gordon kind of chasing down what would be Victor Zsasz and a female version of Firefly, but they kind of become too much, and then it's like, oh, fighting off all these like this Falcone family, and there's this other guy who's actually in charge of Zsasz and Firefly. This guy's name Oswald Cobblepot, and he's trying to take over. You can substitute any mob boss in Batman lore if you want. You can make it Carmine Falcone. You can make it was Daggett. I think
Tony
Daggett
Zuko?
was it. Yeah, you can make it Tony Zuko. Because in Gotham Year One there is also the introduction of Dick Grayson as a young kid, and you see the circus fall. Everyone is already familiar with Batman's origins and stuff, so you don't really need to show that as much. You can certainly show like the training and all that, because that's sort of what we barely get to see a lot. You can show Gordon's stuff going on and his sort of wariness, and the first one's a bit of a jumbled idea, but I think that'd be pretty cool to not only introduce Batman and Gordon's relationship more, because I think that's a very strong relationship that's only focused on maybe a few times, specifically with the Nolan movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first film, Gotham Year One. And
Nice.
yeah.
Well, Owen, I think it's time for a little break commercial.
Yeah, we're gonna take a commercial break right now, but we will come back with the rest of our stuff, and who knows what's next. So we will see you guys very soon on MoonTown Offline.
Tuesday.
Give me 5.
Fonzie is secretly married.
What?
He has a kid and everything.
Fonzie a father? Find out on Happy Days.
I don't think they made up yet.
Then it's love at first bite, and Laverne and Shirley play matchmaker.
Hello, sweetie.
Then Jack takes on the neighborhood bully on Three's Company.
He's asking for it. You want to get married?
And John's surefire line backfires.
Sure.
On Taxi.
Tuesday on ABC.
And we're back. We're back here, MoonTown Offline, everybody. So Austin, what is your second movie?
So, my second film is called Robin. It comes out December 2021. It's got 3 heroes. Technically, the last one's not much of a hero. But we have Robin, Dick Grayson, Batman Bruce Wayne, and Jason Todd. He's going to be bigger in this film than he was in the first one. You have the villains are Psycho and something I created called the Sons of Anarchy, which is sort of like inspired by just the name of the show, Sons of Anarchy, but of course it's spelled like Anarchy, the villain.
Yeah, it's also kind of like the Sons of Liberty.
Yeah. It's got like that vibe. So things to remember from the first film. So Anarchy created a cult, essentially, or a following. That's who becomes the Sons of Anarchy. Dick Grayson is Robin. Batman isn't in this one as much, but Haley Circus arrives at Bloodhaven.
Bloodhaven, yeah. Blue Haven.
Should be Bloodhaven.
That's a much nicer place, Blue Haven.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't spark fear or criminals at all.
On the opening night, one of the performers is killed. Robin asks Batman to investigate. Or I think I meant to say Batman asks Robin to investigate, since Batman is busy dealing with the Sons of Anarchy and their leader after the aftermath of the first film. Barbara Gordon is studying abroad in the summer, through GU, Gotham University. So that's just me saying, like, she's not in this film.
Yeah.
Jim Gordon and Batman work to control the chaos in Gotham. So in my films, Jim Gordon and Batman already have like a pretty good established relationship. That should even be shown in the first film. Jim Gordon, Jason's Todd's mom. So Jason Todd's out of the hospital now. Obviously, this is several months later. His mom's new boyfriend is a son of anarchy, their leader, George Leontini. And he puts the family in danger. And so, as you can see, this plot's already way more involved, or this plot description is way more involved than the first one.
Significantly.
Dick goes to the second performance for the circus and finds out that the performers, and even Haley himself, has been threatened, and some have disappeared. Robin stakes out on the third night, and he stops Psycho from killing Haley, who then says Haley's circus is a training ground for assassins, bought and sold to various organizations. Dick finds out that he also was selected to be sold after Psycho knocks him out and leaves a tooth with a carving in it. I'm not sure if I would show the tooth, because if I did, that would spoil things for the future film. Although I might show like part of it. Jason, or I might not, because that's like a good film mystery too. Jason Todd tries to stop the Sons of Anarchy from taking over the slums of Gotham. So a big thing that I'm putting forth is that Jason Todd, him and his mom don't do very well. They're very much part of the slums of Gotham. So it's like kind of like isn't that like what's his name from Arrow in the CW show?
For what's his role in Arrow again?
What's the guy that come on, like Green Arrow's Robin? Speedy?
Yeah, Speedy, Arsenal.
Obviously his sister's called Speedy, but like the boy, Roy Harper.
Yeah, Roy Harper.
So my Jason Todd is kind of like similar to CW's Roy Harper, just in the fact that he's a boy from the slums. He kind of is like, he wants to protect his home. So if you remember, Jason Todd initially in the first film was trying to go against the man, and then he realizes that anarchy was the problem. So he tries to lead an insurrection but fails, and now these people are coming back, and he's like, whoa, you're not going to take over my home. So he tries to stop them. George starts trying to push his ideologies into Jason's mother and make her an anarchist, spelled with a K, because I'm funny. Jason and George fight, and then George beats him, and then he takes him to the Sons of Anarchy hideout. So again, this is the second time Jason has failed in a fist fight, because he's fighting people stronger than him. So him and his mother get taken to the Sons of Anarchy hideout, where they're going to hatch this big plan. Batman and the GCPD invade the meeting and keep them from their plan of leveling the city. So they were trying to like actually blow up parts of the city. Dick he wakes in again, and he finds Haley murdered, which he then goes after Psycho. And eventually, as he goes to bring about Psycho to justice, Psycho kills himself. I'm thinking he just like jumps off of a building or something, but he doesn't want Dick to win. Batman stops George from detonating the bomb set in the city. The GCPD rounds up the members. Jason's mom was hospitalized due to the violence. And then Jason goes to steal a wheel of the Batmobile, but is stopped by Batman. Batman sympathizes with Jason and recognizes him from the first film, and then learns about his mom. Batman offers to take Jason in to make sure he can protect his home from people like this again. Jason agrees. Dick returns to Gotham and tells Bruce he's going to look after Bloodhaven, and then Bruce introduces Jason to Dick. They shake hands. The last shots are Jason putting on the Robin costume, and then Dick Grayson in the Nightwing costume looking after Bloodhaven.
Does Nightwing costume have just like the blue thing going down his sleeves, or does he have a little like V-neck yellow puffs?
It's more so the modern Nightwing outfit.
I figured.
The blue.
I figured. Just had to give that suit a shout out.
Yeah, that is
So, all right. What was that?
Both of my first films are in 2021.
Yeah. So, mine's a little different. So for my stuff in between, there are just like comic series and whatnot for these guys. So in between Gotham Year One and then Batman the Gotham Knight, there are a few comic stories just centered around like Dick Grayson coming into his own as Robin, as he is at the end. It's not revealed like at the end of Gotham Year One he took Dick in as Robin. It's just like, oh, he's this kid's gonna live with me now for a bit. But in comics, they'll be fighting like, off the top of my head, like Mad Hatter, Professor Pig. We can introduce Riddler into the comic form. That way, he can come in later into the movies. But in 2023, a very simple one: Batman: The Gotham Knight, in which Dick is made Robin at about 17 or 18 because it's improper and illegal to have a kid in underwear running around with you.
Yep.
But they're like, all right, first huge super thing, because now you're like officially Robin. All that stuff was just like basically you shadowing me and you seeing like how this is done. And I wanted to make sure you had as much experience as possible, because this guy, Roman Sionis, Black Mask, I didn't write anything too specific. I think we can take stuff from like Arkham Origins, in that there's now a bounty on Batman's head been put on by Black Mask. But instead of Arkham Origins, where in that game Black Mask is revealed to actually just be Joker, in this one it's just Black Mask. Don't worry. Black Mask has his personal bodyguard, Mr. Freeze, who he is secretly holding his frozen wife captive so that he can do whatever. And he sends out people like Killer Croc, Clayface, and I don't think he has a specific like villain name, but David Kane, Cassandra's dad. We're going to introduce him here, as they're all kind of trying to go off and get Batman for this bounty. At the same time, Gordon's daughter, Barbara, is trying to help out because she's been inspired to just go off on her own as Batgirl and do some stuff. Jim Gordon doesn't really know, but he kind of suspects. It's like, all right, I'll make sure there's like a squad car that comes in like a minute sooner than the others, but just I'll let her figure this out. Maybe she'll see that this is kind of a dumb idea, but she doesn't. She stays as Batgirl, and eventually, in the end, Mr. Freeze joins up with Batman, and then Robin, and then Batgirl to take on this criminal force. At which point, Black Mask is taken out and I would think somewhere in this movie also, Black Mask, maybe the climax is like he has DA Harvey Dent as like a hostage. So that's kind of how we introduce him. He would be in Gotham Year One, and he would get a little more expanded in the Gotham Knight as him and Bruce are reconnecting. Like, oh, hey, remember that kid Tommy? Yeah, that kid there's something a little off about him, but he's off in Canada or whatever. I don't even know. But it's a good thing that we're both best buds. That's more or less the second one, Gotham, Batman: The Gotham Knight.
How many do you have prepared for, right?
I've got 4.
All right. Is your next one about the same length?
Wait, what in the... I'll answer that later, I think. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Is your third film about the same length and description as the second?
Basically, yeah.
Go ahead and do that one, because my third one's really long.
All right, my third one is in 2025, so another 2 years have shifted off. These will be 2 actual years, more or less. And we have Batman: The Long Halloween. Very, very taken from the comic title of the same name. Have you ever read The Long Halloween?
No, but I own it.
Yeah, dude, you need to do that, because Batman: The Long Halloween, I think, is like up there with Batman Hush, where it's like one of the best Batman stories, and is also an amazing Batman detective story, just like Batman Hushes. So, Long Halloween also has a very distinct art style. So, I don't know how you would incorporate that in a live action movie, but uh, it the whole movie goes over a year, where there is a I think the title is The Holiday Killer.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think his name is that too.
Yeah, the Holiday Killer, who once a month is doing something bad and is killing a member of the mob, of the Falcone family specifically. And it's Batman and Robin's job throughout this whole year to try to figure stuff out. They have interviews with Calendar Man. This would be I don't think somebody from the tie-in comics. This would be somebody that Jim Gordon himself was able to arrest at one point. They run into like the Mad Hatter. We don't introduce Scarecrow yet. That's for later. Like Salman Grundy's there for a little second. There's also mainly Catwoman is introduced, and we get that sort of relationship. And Joker is also introduced, because I think in the Long Halloween, he's introduced. Shoot, I just realized that Long Halloween, this description has some spoilers from the comic, and I don't know. Do you know a lot about the Long Halloween story?
No, but here's what'll happen. You write in chat when you're done.
All right, because I don't personally want to spoil stuff for you when you're reading.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take my I have headphones on. I'm gonna take my headphones out, and then or right now. So you continue with that, with your spoilers, and then let me know when you're done. All right?
Okay, so you have your headphones out right now.
Yeah, I just took them out.
Okay. So hi audience, it's me, Owen. So yeah, like in the Long Halloween, Joker will be introduced sometime around Christmas, and is kind of a smaller force going into it, but more in depth, specifically later. And eventually Harvey Dent does become Two-Face, and all the stuff about the Holiday Killer is revealed. Austin, you can put your things now. Austin. Oh boy, we lost him. Okay, I'll just have to tell him in chat. You good now?
Alrighty.
I see, people. That's when Jesus comes down and says, "Hey, Batman, I need some help." And we're like, "What?"
Ah, shoot.
Yeah. Over this year, now that I've given some spoilers to the audience, you, Austin, go read The Long Halloween. Over this year, Bruce becomes a little more and more distant, because this Holiday Killer stuff is really freaking him out, but also he's connecting a little more with Catwoman, and he's sort of distancing himself from Dick Grayson, who's like, he's trying to go through college right now. That's kind of hard when you're Robin and you stay up every single night beating people up and getting concussions. And he's also trying to form a small thing with Barb. He's got to focus on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie basically ends with Holiday Killer thing solved, maybe, and Dick Grayson leaving the title and trying to get away from Batman as much as he can. He takes up a cop position in Bloodhaven. And then Batman is left without a Robin. That's where we end the third movie. In 2025, Batman The Long Halloween.
So I think, doesn't Long Halloween also have, like, you said it has several different villains, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of different villains that pop up and are technically like
minor antagonists.
Yeah, like in those stories, that's when Catwoman is introduced as a Batman villain, or in that story, that's when Joker is introduced, because in the comic, Batman talks in his head like this like new guy Joker is like insane, such a what the heck is this guy's deal? Like, oh, this person Catwoman, I have no idea what this is, and the ending is sick. I'll just say that. But,
all right. Well,
we're going to take a quick commercial break.
Heck yeah.
And then we will come over and listen to Austin's third movie, and we'll try to wrap this up. See you guys then.
That's me and my father, Will Rogers. He taught me a lot of things when I was a boy, and I'll always remember what he said about food. Know what's in it before you eat it. I know exactly what's in grape nut cereal because it's so simple. It's just natural wheat and barley with vitamins added, and it's baked into crunchy little nuggets that even look simple. So if you're looking for something good with breakfast, I got a simple answer for you. Grape nuts, the simple cereal.
Hello, back to MoonTown Offline. So Austin, tell us your third movie.
So, this is a doozy. I spent like an hour and a half just writing out the plot.
Try to sum up as much as you can, bud. Yeah.
Oh, I got this. So it's called Batman Hush.
Ooh, you're going in Hush right away.
We're going into Hush. And it comes out May 2023, because I have 2 films in 2021. Then we'll have this one come out in 2023. So the heroes in this one are Batman, Robin, Batgirl, and Nightwing. Robin is now Jason Todd. And of course, Dick Grayson's on his own as Nightwing. We're going to have several villains in this. The Riddler, Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, the Scarecrow, an unknown assassin that I have written out, but I'll keep it hidden for now. And then Hush himself. Now, several things I have to do is, one, I've been setting up a different storyline, not Hush, throughout my last 2 films, in Robin and in Lady of Gotham. And in this one, I'm adapting Hush, but I'm going to change it because, one, even though I know that had changes too, it's already had an animated movie adaptation. And 3, I need to change it up for the people that are familiar with the story. So the plot. Bruce Wayne is holding a special gathering for the support of Lincoln March for office. Interrupted, he then leaves, and Batman and the newly trained Robin and Batgirl foil a plot of the Riddler and then send him to prison. Riddler leaves Batman an extra riddle pertaining to the Wayne family. Batman visiting him at Arkham and learns that Riddler knows that Wayne's had an older brother and that he's coming back. So in the first film, we learned that he existed, and in this one, we're finding out, that he's alive. Batman leaves Arkham, and before returning to the Batmobile, as in he just left the building, not technically the facility itself, he is notified that Arkham has like a silent alarm set off in Sector 3, which in Sector 3 contains, all these 3 villains that I mentioned, Killer Croc, Poison Ivy, and Scarecrow. And that their feet or whatever, everything has gone offline. So Batman rushes back in, and he's greeted by a more animal-like Killer Croc. So Killer Croc usually has his humanity. And of course, this is like things that Batman will signal to us through dialogue. So eventually they're fighting, and this Batman's unprepared for this, and Killer Croc is like chaotic and stuff. And eventually he actually ends up giving Batman a major head injury. And you could think he's dead for a moment, but then Nightwing arrives at the scene and he defends Batman, unconscious body from Killer Croc. And then Poison Ivy controls Killer Croc and tells them that they have to escape. So then Nightwing calls Alfred, who then calls Thomas Elliot, a childhood friend of Bruce. Elliot arrives at Wayne Manor and performs surgery on Bruce. But like they made sure that he didn't think he was Batman, so they took all that stuff off and everything. Elliot is successful and then asks Alfred to let him rest for several weeks and prescribes some medicine. Nightwing leads Robin and Batgirl on a mission to recapture the escaped criminals. They eventually get led to a bioengineering facility owned by Star Labs. And then when they split up, Poison Ivy takes control of Robin. Nightwing and Batgirl learn that this lab was researching reanimating dead material. So like things to reanimate the dead. Robin attacks them, but is subdued by Batgirl. And Nightwing locates Poison Ivy and then subdues her. So she's sent back to Arkham. Weeks later, Bruce is healthy and is invited out to an opera with Thomas Elliot and his wife. Bruce attends with Selina Kyle, whom they set him up with. During the opera, Thomas leaves to go to the bathroom, and we see that he's killed in the night by a heart from a man in a suit. So you just see a man in a black suit just kind of come out from behind him, stab him in the heart, and he's dead. Then we cut back to Bruce in like the opera. So him and Thomas's wife notice that he's taking a while, and then Bruce goes out to investigate, and he just doesn't find a body. What he does find is blood leading to a window in the bathroom. So as Batman, he investigates, and he finds that it leads to an old building in the slums, where he's assaulted by the Scarecrow and Killer Croc. Robin joins the fight because he's been tailing Bruce and knocks out Scarecrow, beating him half to death. So, oh look, Jason Todd's a little violent.
All right, yeah. I was gonna ask if this was still Jason.
Yeah, it's still Jason, so he's like a pretty violent boy.
Okay.
Batman, after some difficulty, subdues the animalistic Killer Croc, so we have Batman redeeming himself. And then Killer Croc dies of heart failure. And then, so they send them both to Arkham, and they like give, because where are you going to bury Killer Croc? So they just decide Arkham. Then they return to Wayne Manor because like some things are weird. So they research Thomas Elliot because they still want to find out where he is. And they found out he's been working in old Gotham, and he actually used to work in Arkham. So he used to be like part of the medical staff of Arkham, and now he's working in old Gotham. And just for background on Thomas Elliot, for people that don't know, he's a childhood friend of Bruce, and he went into surgery much kind of like Thomas Wayne, Bruce's father. Then there's the news. Two-Face is on the news, and he's now referring to himself as One-Face, and he's holding up the GCPD. So he had, I didn't say this, but he has like himself like his own force of people, which can be, I don't know, any like the street thugs. So they're holding up GCPD, and then he wants Batman to show himself. And then Killer Croc's body was just recently given to Arkham. The cemetery, it's been vanished. It's been stolen. So Batman sends Batgirl and Nightwing to investigate that, while he and Robin deal with One-Face. By the way, and this is a reference to Batman: The Dark Knight, Volume 1, New 52, where everyone gets a whole bunch of like Bane venom, and they get like really ballsy, and then Two-Face calls himself One-Face, and that's pretty funny. Nightwing and Batgirl show up, and they investigate the cemetery, where they find signs that several individuals have been there. Then they also find a riddle. Batman and Robin come to GCPD, where they confront One-Face and his hired men. Then after their confrontation, Two-Face snaps out of it, and it reveals that he's been under Poison Ivy's spell. Batman and Robin bring him to Arkham, where they meet up with Nightwing and Batgirl. Once there, they lock all the villains who escaped up, and then from the Riddler, they learn of a riddle. It involves the natural predator of a bat, an owl. Alfred communicates to Batman that Thomas Elliot's wife and Lincoln March have gone missing. Batman sends the family to look for Lincoln March, while he continues his investigation for Thomas Elliot and his wife. So he returns to the house where he was attacked by Scarecrow and Killer Croc before, and in there he finds a man wrapped in bandages. So I also forgot to write down that this man wrapped in bandages like appears several times throughout the film, kind of stalking Batman on his journey. So the two fight, and they're known to be equally matched. He reveals himself as Hush. Batman and Hush fight and then enter a secret room through a wall, which Hush escapes to. And then Hush goes down like all these pathways and stuff in this room, and Batman's like really confused because like these places that he's in right now aren't supposed to be there. So then he follows Hush through like these pathways, and then he ends up in a secret place with white walls and bright lights. Hush takes off his bandages, and he reveals that he, Lincoln March, is not only the mastermind behind the whole plot, but that his real name is Thomas Wayne Jr., and he's a talent of the Court of Owls, who has sentenced Batman and his family to die. And that's where Hush ends.
Whoa.
So I mixed Hush and the Court of Owls plotline together. And eventually it'll be revealed that Anarchy was a talent, and so was Psycho in the first two films.
Oh.
That's why they were killed, and that's how Psycho knew about Haley Circus's dealings. So Anarchy's real goal was to actually kill the court by leveling Gotham and their secret places within it. Batman stopped that. And then Psycho wanted to kill Haley for putting him in that place in the first place. But then Robin stopped it. Well, Robin didn't stop that. Robin then killed Psycho. And now, also, by the way, in the next film, we'll reveal that Thomas Elliot was part of the Court of Owls. And so that's why he was killed, because he helped Batman, and they were going to kill Batman. And so he kind of like went on a rogue and did his own thing. So they killed him.
Oh wow, that's a lot of intrigue. Court of Owls really control everything, don't they?
Yep. So my fourth film, which is the fourth out of the 8, is going to be something with, maybe I'll make it Night of Owls or Court. I'll probably just say Court of Owls. That's what the people would want. And it'll be like essentially the part 2 to this film.
I see. Well, all right then, guys. That was our first 3 movies that we were able to get through in the span of this time for the Batman movie saga that we got. Next time, let's at least try to get 4, 5, and 6. So just so we can kind of keep the whole 3 movies going, and then we can.
I mean, if you want, you can do your 4th one, and I can just do 5 next time.
That's all right. We're already running kind of long on time. All right. So yeah, guys. Thank you a lot for watching, or listening. You know, whichever one you decided to do. If you haven't yet, subscribe. You should know that only a small percentage of the people who watch these videos are actually subscribed. So if you want to, just click on there. It's free, and you can do it whenever, and you can leave whenever. Sorry, people do that a lot these days. But subscribe to MoonTown if you want to keep up with us. Keep trying to listen to the rest of this story and listen to some other stories we've done. And, you know, we also got some Kingdom Hearts things that we are also doing, and it's super cool. And also make sure you like this video. We're always very encouraged by the support. And comment down below what you think of our stuff. It's not really a question of the day like we do with our Let's Plays, but you know, it's certainly a question. Let us know what you think, and any ideas maybe you guys have. So, Austin, any last words?
The Court of Owls has sentenced you to die.
Shoot.
Oh, bye, guys.
Yeah, I gotta answer that real quick. So, I guess you'll see them next time.
Yeah.
See you next time on MoonTown. All right. Goodbye.